This summer, I got a chance to meet an athlete who has a medical condition unlike any that I've ever encountered before. He's an elite athlete, a surfer, but here's the thing, that this is a guy who's not a great surfer in spite of his medical condition, but rather because of it.
How great of a surfer are we talking?
He could become the next Kelly Slater. So we're talking about that kind of talent.
Is this a situation where this athlete is more comfortable on his surfboard than with people?
Oh, absolutely.
How awkward is he in social situations?
Extremely awkward. He is like a fish out of water. His brain isn't wired that way. The one thing that he is wired to do is to surf. There's something unusual about Clay Marzo. Something that took doctors years to identify. A condition that could make him either the greatest professional surfer ever or ultimately derail his career.
It's really hard for me to explain things to people. It's like I know it, but I just can't.
When he's out of the water, he's in that state of confusion. You know, he's not unsure of a lot of what's going on around him. If he can't get in the water, he's crawling out of his skin.
20-year-old Clay Marzo is a two-time amateur champion and one of the top young surfers in the world. He's admired by the best in his sport for his combination of aerial skills, speed, and daring.
It's really rare when you're entrenched in a sport or in any kind of lifestyle or something that somebody comes along and they're like better than everybody else, and then you see them in person. It's kind of startling, so it's kind of intimidating, you know? It's like, I don't know how to describe it other than just saying it's freaky.
His legs are like rubber or something when he goes on a wave, and he does like these freaky throw tail things off the lip. And don't even think he's gonna pull it, and he just somehow like ends up pulling it.
I feel way better in the water. To me, surfing means like life, not just living. Does that make sense?
Different? How did you know?
How did I know? Just because I was just always just doing my own thing. I just kind of could just sense it already. Because I'm not good. I always feel uncomfortable talking with people. It just always came for me like that. But what was that question? You surf. Say a few things. Hello and bye. Goodbye. I'm not gonna talk. I don't have much to say. It's like kind of sucks.
How do you feel now, talking to me?
I feel like just kind of like this, you know. If you can explain this, not comfortable, but not really uncomfortable, but just kind of like.
He's been misunderstood by so many people.
What do people think? What's his...
Rude, stuck up, shy, lazy, dumb.
Asperger's syndrome is a developmental disorder, a high-functioning form of autism that affects 1 out of every 300 children born in the United States. For people who have it, social interaction is painful because the most basic social or emotional cues are hard to understand, like facial expressions. This is the brain of a person looking at pictures of human faces. Notice the red areas of activity. But in the brain of a person with Asperger's, the activity takes place in a different area. Here, the mind typically processes inanimate objects, like tables and chairs.
If you are angry and you have a face that's angry, they don't really interpret that. They don't read them at all, and they don't give nonverbal cues. So as you will notice with Clay, in most of his pictures, as an adult, you'll see a flat face. Now, does that mean he's angry or anything? It doesn't mean anything. It just means that's who he is.
But Asperger's syndrome may also explain Marzo's amazing ability on a surfboard, that his gift is not in spite of the disorder, but because of it. People with Asperger's are able to hyper-focus on one thing, like surfing.
They have this one part of their brain that gets fired by something, and that becomes their life.
When they told you that people who have Asperger's are really good at one thing, what did you think about that?
I just thought that was cool because at least I'm good at something and not worthless.
Play a little clean one on the inside. He's going to drive down the line, quick float.
The contests are harder for me, for sure. Because everybody just talks so to everybody. It's hard for me. My cup's overflowing.
What was that?
My cup for socializing, I have a cup full. You guys have a bucket, like a big bucket. My cup gets overflown. At contests, eat really fast, and you just gotta get away, you know?
Clay Marzo will always have Asperger's, and he will always be a special talent. His cup may overflow on land, but in the water, there are no limits.